Welcome to the by-district edition of the RGVSports.com football chat, webcast, whatever you want to call this thing. I am Brian Sandalo, and I am joined by District 35A expert, Maestro, Todd Orodenker, and 3248 writer, Dennis Silva. We're just going to get right into it. It's by-district. We've got a lot of games to watch, but let's see, Todd, what's the one game that you would pay to see this week?
None. I'm not paying to see any high school football game, but I don't mean that insultingly. I just mean we gotta.
You can't even get into the spirit. This is by district.
We gotta garner for wages in this economy we have over here. It's a tough economy.
Oh, because high school football games are so expensive. They're like $7
on a sports writer's salary.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
Let's get back to business here. The game to look forward to for me from this district is Sherryland and Loretto United.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. The Rattlers lost this game last year in Laredo. They gave up 60 points,
60 to 42.
60 to 42. Little revenge this year is kind of on the docket for Sherryland. They wanted the district title, they got that. They wanted the perfect season, they got that. And now they kind of want to make a deep run. After every game, they're talking 16-0 state title.
They're really talking that?
That's what they've been preaching to the team. That's what they've been preaching. Let's go 16-0. Let's win a state title. That's what their focus is on.
And I'm single, and Scarlett Johansson is single too. I hear. So,
Dennis, let's arbitrate this. Better chance of happening: Sanglo and Scarlett Johansson, or Sherryland winning a state title.
I'm going to have to go with Sherryland winning a state title.
Well, you guys don't believe in me.
No, we do not.
it must be the mustache I got.
Yes,
that's part of it.
Among other things.
Anyway, back to this.
The Sherryland trying to get a little revenge from last year, start their playoff run.
Are they really thinking about that, though? It doesn't seem like coach speak. Let's get him back for something that happened 12 months
It's on
ago.
their mind. It's on their mind. They want to avenge that. A lot of these guys, especially the three main guys on offense, Barrera, Valdez, and Castillo, all were on that team last year. A couple main defensive guys like Bradley Klein, Joey Esquivel were there, so they all kind of want to get this revenge and get this one back. But it's more important for them to win a playoff game. If they drew Alexander, if they drew United South, if they drew somebody else, I don't think they'd be too upset. They have to be playing United. They want to get this win and move on.
There's just more juice into this.
There's a little bit more juice. It's a little bit more like, all right, let's get it back. They took the district title back, and now they want to take this win back.
Now, will Sean Landis make SportsCenter again?
I don't know if he's going to be able to return a 109.9 or in the record books 100 yard,
right?
Since everything at Texas is 100 yards into the end zone. But it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a fun night in Mission on Friday night.
Kind of a buzzkill, or near Mission.
Near Mission.
It's
technically in Mission, but yes.
Yes, and then Dennis, your district. I'm not terribly enthused for some of these games, but what's the one game that you're looking forward to?
Well, Alice and Mercedes, simply because looking at the matchups, these are two teams that are so similar. It's really hard to get a nail on who's a favorite here. Both run ground and pound type, defensive oriented, fundamental, don't turn over the ball or anything like that. So it's very hard to get a pick. And I've heard some people call this the Orange Bowl because the orange is the dominant color for each. But I'm just not sure. I'm looking at it because it could go either way, and that's what Mission and Ray. Mission should probably come away with the win in that one. Ed Couch, Elsa and Miller. Ed Couch should win that one pretty handily.
And Flower Bluff's going to be Mission
and Flower Bluff should be Mission Vets. So, and Alice Mercedes is really a toss-up, so that's why I'll be paying attention to it.
It seems like these programs are at different stages. It's like Mercedes is on the way up. They've got a pretty good quarterback coming back next year. Alice, they've kind of been descending for a while.
Yeah.
It seems like Alice kind of needs this game.
They waxed Loretto Alexander this year.
That is true.
They did.
And that's good. And that's a decent team, Bulldogs.
Yeah, and I think what also will make a difference is they've got speaking of Alice, they've got three rushers with more than 500 rushing yards, a bunch of touchdowns. Mercedes really is only relying on Matthew Guzman at this point. Isaiah Garza hasn't been as effective as a runner, and Gilbert Vela, who was supposed to be the third wheel of that triangle backfield, he hasn't really been heard from lately. So it could be enough to where Guzman just isn't enough to match up with the three-headed monster of Alice.
I'm guessing you picked Alice to win this game?
Actually, no, I picked Mercedes.
Okay.
Because they're so close, I'm giving it to the home field advantage in Mercedes. It could really go either way. It would not shock me to see Alice win. But I think Mercedes is coming off the high of beating previously undefeated Mission and all of that, getting a share of the district title.
And they haven't won a playoff game in a while over there in Mercedes either.
Yeah, I mean, they've had Cal Allen in their way the whole time for Coach Uribe over there. But so now, I mean, they may be hungry to get that first playoff victory and kind of make that jump.
Do they pass in Alice? I mean, is that legal in it?
I'm not sure if it's legal or they think it's against the rules. No, they just run the ball, traditional throwback football. And you bring up a good point. It may be who else, I mean, with the running games and with stout defenses, who's going to be able to beat the other team through the air.
Right. Now, I get a say in this as well. I'm looking forward to that Harlingen High McAllen Memorial game.
Are you?
I think that, Harlingen High is the big bad beast of Valley football, but kind of a little bit down this year. McAllen Memorial is really on the rise. That program has had some ups and downs where they've had good teams, but they wouldn't be able to rebuild the next year, miss the playoffs. That didn't happen this year. They're not what they were last year, but they are in the playoffs. It's all that matters. They got through the very tough district. While Harlingen, they went 7-3, but who have they beaten really other than South?
They didn't beat Los Fresnos.
They did not, no.
Beat Brownsville Vets.
Yeah, they beat Brownsville veterans.
Very negative towards Brownsville teams.
I don't think the football is very good over there. And the two of those losses to San Benito, which did not make the playoffs.
No, they did not.
No, and then San Antonio Johnson, by the way, we looked that up. San Antonio Johnson did not make the playoffs.
No.
Beat Harlingen 36-0, and they did not make the playoffs. So I don't think Harlingen Big Red is that big this year. It's like mini red.
And you have to remember that they also, this game, I mean, they lost to Los Fresnos earlier in the season, so if you kind of think this whole home field advantage, big game kind of thing might play a lot, it doesn't exist because they did lose that game earlier in the season.
And Memorial will travel, too.
Yeah,
it's not that far a trip.
To a Los Fresnos team that will end up in a real bad spot right now with the way they've been playing and some of the things that are probably hanging over that program. It's tough in a one-school town when you lose 2 games in a row and cost yourself.
But Harlingen, I just don't believe in this Harlingen team anymore. I'm off the bandwagon. It took me long.
Well, they're going to take that little clip right there, and they're going to play it, and they're going to post your picture up.
If you're looking for motivation from 3 guys just talking football late at night after deadline, then you're really hard up for motivation. Yeah. I'm serious. If you take motivation from what we say, then you're kind of, I don't know. I just don't. I think you should be able to motivate yourself better.
You probably should.
But I think this is a very intriguing matchup. 2 pretty good programs. Now, moving on, we always have Harlingen's always the answer to this question, but I don't think they are this year. What teams do you expect to go furthest in the playoffs?
Well, 2 best teams in the Valley the entire year have been Sharyland and Donna, so I think you have to go with them. The brackets, though, the way they shake out, it's going to be really tough for any 5A team to get past the 3rd round.
Well, duh.
More so than normal.
Okay.
Sharyland will get either Harlingen or McAllen Memorial in the 2nd round.
Sharyland, Harlingen.
That could be a real fun game, but then looming in the 3rd round is San Antonio Madison, which beat Harlingen last year. They're returning that running back they had.
Who Harlingen, a better team, couldn't stop.
Yeah, and Madison is a lot better this year.
Oh, gosh.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
For Sharyland. We can get into that game when it gets to the point, if it gets to that point. Whoever plays them might not necessarily be Sharyland, but whoever plays Madison, that's going to be a real tough game. Donna, in their bracket with Wesco and Los Fresnos, is either O'Connor or Judson.
No.
Judson, and then O'Connor's pretty good. The East, Wesco East, Economides, and Brownsville Vets bracket, you have San Antonio Ragged or Smithson Valley.
So we're talking basically 3rd round here.
And then Edinburgh North, McAllen Royal Harlingen South bracket has the unbeatable Cibolo Steel.
Right.
Which nobody in the Valley is touching. So for those 3 teams, I think we can safely say your ceiling is the 3rd round. No one's getting past Cibolo.
Yeah.
The other, O'Connor, Judson, Madison, Reagan, Spitzen, it's going to be really, really tough, but maybe there could be something work out.
Right way. You win the coin flip the right way.
Cibolo, I don't see any situation where any of those teams are going to beat Cibolo.
Ask McAllen Memorial about that.
If Sharyland can get Madison in the Valley on a Friday night,
that's what these coaches got to do. Don't compromise and play at San Antonio. So I know it's not going to be the Alamo Dome this year, but don't play at Alamo Stadium. Don't play at Hero Stadium. Try to get the teams here.
If Sharyland can play Madison, they can get on a Friday night down here. You play them at McAllen Stadium, or you play them at Tom Landry, and you could fill it up with all Sharyland fans. Madison's not going to travel, and then you can unleash that offense on them, maybe something can happen.
But don't play at Alamo Stadium. Look at McAllen Memorial last year.
They played at home and they almost won.
Almost won because they had 8,000 people on their side, and the other side was completely empty.
San Antonio's not going to travel down here.
No.
Even if you meet them in the middle, you're still going to have a significant advantage.
Right.
If you meet them in Corpus or if you meet them in Kingsville.
Don't just do the compromise. Now, moving on. Teams that go the furthest in 4A. Dennis, we got anything here? I mean, Mission Vets is probably going to lose to Flower Bluff.
Yeah, probably.
Ed Couch Elsa, if I'm not mistaken, has Port Lavaca Calhoun on its way, and then Mercedes has Cal Allen.
Yeah.
So I guess by process of elimination, we got Mission High.
Right? More or less. I mean, pretty much. That's how it's going to work out. I think Mission, I know Grady Portland's got some stud running backs over there, but I think Mission's defense can really, you never know. They've stepped up to the plate more than their share of times. The only other one, I think Mercedes and Cal Allen will be interesting. Cal Allen hasn't looked like the Cal Allen of old this year, so there's that. And Mercedes is playing out of its mind this year.
But
so
Mercedes always comes in playing well in the playoffs, and then they play Cal Allen. They see the maroon, whatever their color is, and they just can't get it done.
That's true.
Really expect that to change this year?
That's true. But, you have a Cal Allen team, though, that's different. What's different about them is they're making mistakes. And Mercedes has a defense that can kind of pounce on that. Even if Cal Allen wasn't playing bad as they have in the past, they would not make mistakes. It'd be just a matter of time, that type of thing. But if you turn the ball over once or twice, 3 times against this Mercedes team, they have the ability to capitalize, and then it's now Cal Allen's playing from behind, and Cal Allen doesn't play from behind that often.
Mercedes has played Cal Allen in the past.
Yeah, and they scheduled them the first game this year. They lost that game.
Coach Uribe a lot of credit for.
Yeah, they lost that game, and I honestly think coming in, Mercedes will get more hype for this game. Should they play Cal Allen than Cal Allen would, because Cal Allen would be like, been there, done that.
But this is the same thing that I think affects all of these 5A teams and Mercedes, Mission, all these teams.
Teams are just not going to beat.
Yeah. You have Harlingen last year who made that run.
Yeah.
They lost in the third round, 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
And they beat Abilene that season. So they were used to that whole spot, and they were used to the big game, and they were used to those kind of teams. All these teams, from Sharyland to Donna, the 2 top 5A teams and all these 4A teams, they've never done anything like that.
Right.
Ever. I think Donna lost them by district last year. Sharyland lost them by district last year.
They haven't been working their way up.
They haven't been working their way up. Mercedes has played Cal Allen, but they've never beat them.
True. Yeah.
They've never made.
I guess I have an optimist
come close a few
perspective
years.
in that. I think it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. But how do you expect? And this is the same thing you can ask the coaches. How do you expect to go from winning maybe a by district game at best to all of a sudden going to the 4th round? It's just that kind of overnight stuff rarely happens.
That's true. I don't think
worked its
they'll go
way
that
up
far.
last year to get there.
They should have probably gotten there the year before.
Yeah,
but that's neither here nor there.
Possible. They worked their way up though. They were used to that whole spot, and they were prepared to play. What did they play? Warren in the 3rd round and got that win.
I guess.
Yeah, Warren. They were prepared to play Warren.
Yeah. And I will say this: Ed Couch Elsa's athletes, I think, are on par with some of the teams in the Coastal Bend.
Wow,
athletically,
that is a bold
they have some superior athletes who I think makes that team a tough out. I know it sounds hilarious. I know it sounds funny.
Okay, that is.
Do you want to make the practice joke or
that? Yeah, I'll just leave that one. I will let you go. I will stop you there before you say something you're going to regret, because I don't see it. Those teams, they beat up Valley teams in the trenches usually. That's where.
Okay, and that's fine. But I don't know.
It's a combination.
Yeah, obviously, being my first year, I'm not sure what is the normal.
It's between Laredo and Corpus. It's somewhere I'd say in that. It's between. It's in that happy medium.
Okay.
Yeah, and then San Antonio's bigger, and then when San Antonio goes and plays
Houston, they lose, and Houston loses to Dallas.
You can't compete with the DFW sizes up there. It's South Lake Carroll, man. That's a college team. So,
and I guess,
or Allen or whatever.
And now I guess looking back a little bit, looking at the favorite. It's the end of the regular season. We'll look back. Favorite moment, story, whatever, regular season thing that just grabbed you. And Todd, I know where you're going with this, and I kind of agree with you here.
Well, from my own district, probably my favorite thing, I like what Economies did. That was great. But for Lars Lincoln to get from being a 4A team to get to Class 5A and win 5 games, it almost make the playoffs. First 500 season in school history under a first-year coach. Pretty crazy stuff for them to pick up a few wins that nobody thought they would ever get, and to almost get into the playoffs. And almost beat Donna last week. Granted, I don't know how into that game Donna was. I wasn't there, but to get that close is really, really impressive for that Waters Lincoln program. But kind of my favorite moment from the year was Brian Sandler's Pace Vikings getting a win.
I'm wearing my green right now. I'm wearing my Pace green.
We go over it all the time, but BISD is just an absolute mess of a school district, a train wreck.
Cluster bleep,
horribly run and insulting to the community and insulting to the teachers and the coaches and especially the students who go there. And to do what they did to that school and to that team and that community, and then for that team
to stick with it,
and that coaching staff to keep everybody on point and everybody focused. And I know they beat Porter, and Porter's not anything, but for them to get a win at the end of the tunnel, he scored a touchdown week 1, and then he scored one till week 10.
Week 0, actually.
Week 0. And
what they went through,
and what they went through,
85-0 to 60. I mean,
and I don't think we can understand it. The amount of stuff that they were hearing from people in the school and other students and on the field and things like that. The trash talk. I mean, these are kids, 15, 16-year-old kids, and we can say, "Oh, we hope Pace does well," but what they were hearing in the hallways, you guys stink, and all this stuff.
Pain of going through football and getting no reward and sticking
getting beat up, and sticking with it.
Congratulations!
I mean, emotional and physical pain, and just the stuff they were hearing. It's real tough for a kid to be put in that situation, but they all were, and then for them to stick with it and get a win. I hope that program continues building up, and if they can make the playoffs, probably won't do it next year. It's still a tough district. In 2 years, if they maybe get back down to 4A where they belong, numbers-wise.
Congratulations to them.
William Dean. William Dean should really get a look for a job somewhere else for this. This is incredible.
And for keeping their numbers sort of up. I mean, I would have quit. You would have quit. I think Dennis would have quit.
Dennis would have stayed. He's a fighter.
I don't know. Okay, fine. But I know that...
we would have quit. We're quitters.
We're done, And just congratulations.
And he's a good coach, a good football coach, and then he obviously knows how to motivate kids and keep them focused.
And we snickered when we read in their stories, they were talking about they were improving. Maybe they were.
Maybe they have been getting better.
But congratulations to them, and that's one of my favorite stories. And I'm going to go now. Another one is Economy is making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Economy is, not really synonymous with football. They've, one playoff appearance before this year. That was in 2004 with Ryan Richardson, a very good player. I'd like to know anybody else who can name another player on that team besides Ryan Richardson.
Well, as I made this joke on Twitter, I was a junior in high school in Cheltenham, Pennsylvania, outside Philadelphia then, so I couldn't even name Economies on a map.
Or Edinburgh.
Or East. I didn't know where East Edinburgh was.
Well, I knew Edinburgh, Scotland. But just congratulations to them. That's a very tough thing for a coach to do, to go in there and change the culture.
Oh, yeah.
And last year, it didn't get off to a great start. You go 0-10. Even if you're rebuilding, that's tough to get over. Brownsville Porter. That's very tough to get over. But to turn around, when was it? 6 games? What was there?
6-4.
6-4 to do
that.
That.
Over McCown Memorial.
Yes.
Nearly beating North. Nearly beating Sharyland.
Yes.
They hung with Donna.
And they overcame the injury of their quarterback.
Their quarterback injured will be 3.
Who knows if Fugare Paz can actually play wide receiver the whole year?
They mixed in Paz with Alvar. I mean, but Paz would get about 4, 5, 6 deep shots a game. He'd connect on a few of them. He was their best athlete.
Connect on 1 or 2, it's worth it.
And that's all you need is 1 or 2 to make a difference in the game. And then that was completely
just a great job.
Completely wiped
they started to believe, too.
And they're a 1,000% running team now, pretty much. And still, they almost beat Sharyland. And still, they piled up 6 wins, so that's still good.
They just started to believe. They started to really think that they could make the playoffs. They deserved it. Yeah. And I like what Gabe Pena said to you, I think, in your notebook, that why shouldn't they be playing now?
Yeah.
I like that. That you should expect to play. You should think you're worthy of playing, and they are. And he's done a great job changing the whole mindset
Coach
of that
of the Year candidate.
Absolutely. I don't have a vote. I don't think, but...
You'll be dead by then.
I will be dead, but no, I won't.
To the Valley scene, you'll be dead.
Yeah, but just great job by Gabe Pena. Now, Dennis, I think you covered the story of the year in Valley football. But
depressing story of the year.
Depressing, but I think it had a happy ending, and that's kind of what you're looking at here.
Yeah, just seeing a couch, from a student-athlete standpoint, for the players, just to get a share of that district title. After everything they've gone through, the gauntlet of criticism, scrutiny... we talk about trash talk. Teams were trash talking them left and right too. Just seeing them get that big win against. It wasn't. Rio Grande City, they were going to win, but to put themselves in the position to get there, I think that was pretty commendable. To get the district title was pretty commendable, and it's really a testament to the kids and just them sticking through it. Because I know, just talking to some of them today, they were talking about them just giving up because it just seemed like an avalanche at times. Just one day after another, it's this, it's that, it's this. UIL, Austin. Forfeiture this and that, and just to stay focused and take care of their business on the field. And I think it says a lot about the character of those kids.
love the twist that the team that won them the district title, though, or that gave them a split, was those Mercedes Tigers.
That's right. And talking to the kids, they even admitted after that game they won. They said, yeah, on Thursday they were a Mercedes fan.
They must have had to wash their mouths out with soap.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, and you saw it on social media too, like they were hoping Mercedes took care of business. So that was good to see. Just, I guess, for one night, rivals come together and cheer for each other. That you don't see that too often. So that was good to see too, as well.
I wonder, and it wasn't lost on Mike Uribe either, was it? The whole, I guess, the irony of the situation.
No, yeah. He said, yeah. I talked to him that night before they played their game against Mission. He was like, well, they got to be cheering for us, right? And I was like, I assume so, but you never know. But yeah, they were cheering for Mercedes, and Uribe the irony wasn't lost on him either. But he's a stand-up guy, and those athletes over there at that couch, they're stand-up people who worked hard, and they deserve that share of the title.
A lot of guts. And I think looking now,
Yeah.
I don't think we meant this intentionally, but all of our favorite stories are about perseverance.
Yeah.
Pace, sticking with it, the head couch kids sticking with it, and the economy of these programs.
The coach, people have to stick with it again after what happened tonight.
Right, Wednesday apparently. The new school board not quite in there yet.
God, that town. Those poor kids, man. Can they just take that team and move them somewhere else and then just get rid of that entire town? I mean, they
Get rid of
really...
the town's okay, just some of the people in charge of it.
but then it's the community because we could get into it.
Yeah, we'll get sidetracked.
Good for Ed Couch.
Good for Ed Couch.
Good for the players.
It's perseverance, all three of the stories, and that's what sports is about, I guess, if I don't want to get too sentimental.
Get sentimental, Sandalo.
Then why don't we get a little sentimental here? Well, maybe we won't, but people who know the man, Bruce Bush, announced on Wednesday that he's retiring after a very long and successful 42-year career. I haven't been alive that long. I can't imagine doing anything for 42 years, but to be coaching. And he was a class act, too. I don't know. I've talked to him a couple times. Todd, you did. Dennis,
I talked to him a couple times.
Very class guy. And
real professional.
Yeah, this profession needs more guys like him, I think. Guys who are just good dudes.
Yes.
Yes, just need good people.
But every coach we deal with is also like that. So
every single one, except for the ones wink, wink, wink.
The ones who are not.
Are we going to see him in that couch?
He'd actually wouldn't be a terrible idea for a couple years if he had the energy, because he would bring integrity. But
he would. But what do you say? He's going to take his RV, travel around the country with his wife,
and watch his son coach.
Yeah, his son's a coach in Houston.
Yeah, I doubt Elsa's on the map.
I don't think Elsa's.
I don't think Elsa's on the map. I think he's going to enjoy this. He's probably got his pension coming and enjoy his retirement.
I know you're being a sarcastic wise guy, but that's not a terrible idea. He would come in and bring integrity and experience, and he could still win some games. So
yeah, but
not going to happen.
He's been doing this for a while.
No.
I don't think he wants to.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't need that.
He seems like he's done good for good this time. Yeah, good for him.
Good guy, real good guy, stand-up guy.
Put his time in. He deserves to go out on top.
Yeah, and speaking of going out on top, we're going to call it a night here. I'm Brian, Todd Orodanker, Dennis Silva, and we'll talk to you next week for the area round.